social team structure, always something that gets asked about, and the bad news really is that, yeah, there's no one size fits all, and the worry with what I'm about to show you is you'll probably all end up in tears about what a great social media team looks like and how much it costs. However, we thought it was important throughout the course today to show you what's happening in the wider world, how the bigger companies are doing it as well, and what best practice is, and then you can apply that to yourself in the best way that you can. So at least if you're aiming over here, it's better than you just staying here and being happy. So, what's the brief for a social media team? The constant brief, and this never changes, this should be printed above your laptop or your screen, you should be wearing a t-shirt saying it. This is, or when people ask you the crap question, so what do you do then? Look at Twitter all day? Right, this is what you say to them. I grow the business by strategically creating content, ads, and engaging with the target audience on different social media platforms. So none of this, oh, do you just dick about on Instagram? No, I'm strategically doing this, and here's how. So that's your job. Okay. So let's think about your fam, as the kids say. So we're going to start thinking about who you have round about you. So there's two ways to play this. There's, if you had millions, this is how you would play it. But also starting to think about you, if you're only a team of 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, half, whatever, then all the things that you actually need to be considering, because you could be getting sort of distracted by the noise from the organisation about what they think you should be doing. So you can hire some dickhead from an agency in Shoreditch that smokes a pipe and outsource everything. I'm not sure that's the case. The biggest issue with just outsourcing is the fact that you know your brand really well. You know yourself. And no agency really can ever do that unless they're pretty much an implant. So that worries me a lot. You're probably too busy in lots of ways as well. Overworked and underpaid and stressed and all the rest of it. So really, it's sort of a compromise and a marriage of the two. Someone hopefully is doing the technical bit and constantly looking out for all the new news, like the stuff, we've sort of told you today. Hopefully there's some new things there. But you know the brand, you know the heart of the brand, you know how it looks and feels and acts. And basically what you want to do is start with a strategy. And the strategy is always to outwit, outplay and outlast the competitor. And actually also outwit and outplay the game that is the algorithms of social media as well. So there's quite a lot in that. So, for example, a strategy could be, and this is slightly pointed, this strategy, because you get a lot of strategies that are just objectives. So they'll say it's a strategy, but it's, we want more engagement. Well, that's kind of an objective. So this strategy is you saying, actually, we're going to use social media to build a community of engaged customers through our social media. So with that, you're actually starting to say, that changes everything. That changes how you speak, that changes the channels that you use, that changes the images, the videos, the approach, your expectations of what's going to happen. This is a long play. And actually, you're going for like loyalists. You're not just scattergunning to anyone that might be hungry for pizza. So in terms of budget stuff, right, we get asked this a lot as well. So my view, and it's the view of many others online as well, is that you want to take around 5 to 8% of your total turnover as your marketing budget. And just like when I was back at Yo Sushi, it was at 1% of total turnover, which was hard. If you're realistic, you want a successful business, you want to last, and you're just not always discounting your way to success, this is how you do it. 5 to 8% of your turnover as marketing budget. Then the next thing that will make people gulp potentially is that I would be then advising you want to be using 80% of that in digital and testing and learning in social. Or you could just want to go for it and say, right, we're going all social. A wee bit risky maybe, there's other things to consider. When a lot of companies that we talk to don't even have a Facebook pixel embedded in their website, which wants to make me pull my eyes out. So, you've got this money, hopefully. You're going to go and build the team. So the first person in the team is the boss. So there's a lot of text in this, but I felt it was really important information to distinguish all of these things for you to then be able to take this back to your bosses and say, This alone's everything that needs to be covered in social media, never mind offline and PR and all these different areas. So, head of social, and the benchmark for wages at the moment in the market is 40 grand to 100 grand. Responsibilities, so strategy and planning, goals and deadlines, brand and product awareness, online reputation building, creating and amplifying content with the team, managing and developing the team as well, help them grow, and then generating leads. The skills that then you are interviewing for, if you're bringing someone into the business, creativity and copywriting, you have to be able to spell, which is good, keen creative eye, leader and team player, you don't want any, sort of Maradonas on there. Social media management tools, they understand how to use them, they know what's happening there. Good presenter, because they're going to have to win friends and influence people. They're going to have to get money from places, they're going to have to work with agencies, they're going to have to work with the social platforms. They need to be really good at that stuff. Manage the client and the stakeholders, and also know about the wider digital and marketing out there in terms of expertise. Second thing then is content maker and curator. So that's going rate, 37 grand to 80 grand. Responsibilities, staying on top of industry news. So these people, you're like, how did you know that? It's these people that are just tapped in at all times. They create both macro and micro content, and that's just life for marketing. Marketing should always be brand long play, short-term tactics. Brand long play, short-term tactics all the time. It isn't one or the other. So then, publishing content across all the networks, so they must know how to do all that. They'll partner with the designer stroke videographer, which we'll come on to, and then they'll be coming out with new input and ideas rather than being reactive. Again, skills you're looking for: strong copywriting, social media management skills, content management systems. They must know how to work those. They must know about search engine optimization and how that works, because that's important for social too. Time management, of course, and then research skills in terms of how to look for good content, interesting stories through data and things like that. Next up is your friendly neighbourhood community manager. Going rate 40 to 70k. Responsibilities, getting involved in all conversations, managing conversations, just a real people person. Interacting with brand advocates and fans, building customer relationships, brand awareness and advocacy. And the skills you're looking for, again, there's a theme here: strong copywriting skills. They must know everything about the brand, because they'll be dealing with customer service, some quite risky stuff, thinking about Byron lately and Pret in the past and all these things. And also the key employees of the brand, where to go for this information, which we'll come on to later. And then the ability to write content with wit and in an on-brand way. Now, there are strong brand guidelines that you should be adhering to, but also you're going to have to dislocate them slightly to be online. If you're a kind of serious bank or something like that, it's not going to work that way if you're on Twitter, for example. The next one up, and the next thing you've got to think about if you're a team of one in your job, is being the ads manager. Hugely important now, because organic content is getting nowhere. So you really need someone that's incredible at managing ads. So responsibilities are creating ad content, set the target audiences, back to the brand stuff, the big purple slide before. Plan and implement A/B testing. Who's got time to do that? No one. So again, very important, or we'll never learn. And then plan and distribute the budget wisely, hence placing the bets. Skills, analytical and Excel, statistical analysis, content creation skills, comfortable with taking risks. Quite a rare beast, actually, in a lot of ways, because it is this very, very fiscal, commercial, analytical beast, but they also need to understand good creative and what will work. Then you've got the analyst. So the analyst, 41,000 to 77,000. And basically then responsibilities are also studying the industry trends and the platform trends and the new news, ensuring you reach your goals as well. The reach of the goals. Defining the most profitable audiences, so even more important than the ads person who's kind of setting target audiences, it's their job to find the profitable ones. And then proactive and reactive reporting, so it's a little bit of both. Here's what we could do, and then here's what's happened, Skills, so strong analytical skills again, so they'll go on well with the ads person, might be the same person as you start to crunch these down. In-depth knowledge of social media platforms, possibly a social science and psychology degree to really understand consumer behaviour. You know, it's starting to think about this slightly differently. And then knowledge of social media management tools. So then, we've got Trump doing his thing. So we've got videographer and graphic designer. Now, I'm not saying they're the same thing, but they share a lot of attributes. So the videographer and graphic designer, if it's the one person, hallelujah, but not always the case. So responsibilities, align and work with the given brief, so stay on target with what's happening. Work with the content creators as well to actually make it happen. Create all the visual assets, as we said, in all the right formats for all the different platforms and variations. And ensuring there's brand consistency, like Alison was talking about, maybe it's fonts or images or colorways or whatever. The skills, great knowledge of design tools and software, strong communication skills, and gets excitable about those things, attention to detail, and understanding of social media. It's a lot of people, right? We're not done yet. So, influencer manager. So influencer manager, going rate, 25 grand to 40 grand. Don't know why they're cheaper, but anyway. Responsibilities, guess what? Running influencer campaigns, posing with a duck pout, probably, and all that. Relationships with influencers and just knowing them. And please, 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 don't believe your PR agency when they tell you they know the biggest influencers in the area. They don't. That's why Whaler exists. That's why Tribe exists, right? They'll just use the people they know, not the people that are best for you. So just, you know, always think about that. So having someone like this or using a tribe or something is a good idea. They create and monitor content from influencers, like Alison was talking about. Research the influencers to make sure they're on brand and right for you. You know, swearing for a yogurt brand and stuff like that. And then they'll do a lot of research on the competitors as well and what's going on out there in the wider world. So the skills that they're going to need then are the knowledge of the company's industry. So they're going to have to learn that pretty fast. Strong social media expertise, of course. Flawless communication skills. And that should go throughout, by the way. Never, ever, ever a spelling mistake on anything. Ever. It's just criminal. Project management, strong on that, because they'll be controlling many people who are maybe a bit flaky. And then building relationships as well. Okay, that's your dream team, which is a lot of people, a lot of money, and a lot of stuff going on. But people that are being really successful in social are taking this seriously, and that's what they're doing. This is best practice. This is what the best companies in the world are doing. So it's taking that, and how could you apply that to your business if you've got, you know, a smaller team. So the other thing to think about is your friends around the business as well. This is very important because the social media team can't exist on its own. All of these people have got to be included in your thoughts, in your content planning, and what you're about to do, etc. Make friends with these people, get up close with them, and they'll provide you with a shit ton of content. You know, and then the legal person will tell you to put the handbrake on now and again. So again, it's a great thing to do. You know, even if it is financial results, that still needs to go out somewhere. You know, people are still posting how well they're doing and things like that. So if you're a team of 3, what do? Again, it's going back to that acquisition, content, and retention piece. So start lining up your team to be multi-skilled across channels, but one's focused on acquisition, one's focused on retention, and there's someone doing content in the middle, spitting out to both. Oh dear. Oh, I want to cry. So if you're by yourself, or if you're half a person, as a lot of people are, Keanu says sorry. Tough shit. So it's really difficult. So all you can do is sit down and say, right, here's everything that I need to be doing, and you lay it out to your boss on a list. And you just go, this is everything you're expecting me to do. And I've got all the other things as well. Here's what I want to do. What do you want to do? And how can we prioritize that into some meaningful thing? And how can we work together to prove the ROI of that next person that you're going to try and bring in? Because people just aren't taking it seriously enough. And then if your boss thinks, oh, great, what I'll do is I'll hire a market manager that's got Photoshop skills and is handy with a video camera. It's just not the same thing. It's really difficult. It's really hard to ask someone to do all these things. It's not right, you know, and people really need to stop doing that. The other thing to think about is all of your toolbox that you've got. So here's all the tools that you might want to have. So some obvious ones up there, of course, Gmail and Google Drive and all that. Planable's really good for planning your work. Flow, same thing as well. Obviously the channels and the native apps there's more channels, of course. And then checking out things like Trello and Later and Hootsuite and Slack and Planoly and all these things to help you schedule things and plan what's going on. Try to just automate as much as you can. I know it's quite difficult. The last couple of things then is, there's a lot of budget considerations now. It's really unfortunate. You know, back in 2007, 2008, it was a free game. It just isn't now. So there's a lot of stuff to think about. Salaries, training, overheads, influencer costs, external agencies, software subscriptions, and. And then the last thing, really, the advice I have in terms of what to spend, obviously I gave you a percentage earlier, but, you know, if it's helpful, really for you to be serious. I was doing this in 2009 at Yo Sushi. So, you know, the game's moved on, so it's reasonably kind, those figures up there, but that's sort of the amount of money you need to be spending on your content, your influencers, and per month on your ad spend as well. All right? Sorry.